the same. Welcome to my channel. My name is Esi Kokui. I have a new episode for you today. I have another Growing Up African episode today with the lovely Lotanna. We are going to be talking about how her experience was growing up Nigerian and a couple of other things. So let's get into it. Hi, Lotanna. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining me. Did you want to give the people a little rundown on who you are?
I'm just a basic girl, but no, hi everyone. My name is Lotanna. I am a writer, a director. I'm a child of God. And yeah, that's me.
Yes, I love
Esi and I, if you're wondering how I know Esi, we met in college. We met at SF State, and she was a wonderful light, during my time there. So yeah.
Tiffany was the best.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I was problematic, but I was the best.
No, she really was. I've never had a friend like Tiffany. I was like, wow, I love her energy, and I'm keeping her.
Thank you.
Where in Nigeria is your family from?
So we are Igbo. I am from Enugu State. We have a wonderful theme song, Enugu State. But yeah, that's our girl. Our theme song hits. But yes, that's where we're from.
I love it. So you were born out here, but your parents were born in
Yes. So I was born in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Both my parents are like from the same exact village. But my mom, she is first generation. So she was born in London and then moved to Nigeria when she was younger.
Nice. Or have you ever been to Nigeria?
Yeah, so my first time was in 2018. Okay. It was very, very sentimental trip. Cried when I got there, cried when I left. But that was my first time, and it was amazing because I feel like I grew up so much. Like I grew up with the culture so much, but I just hadn't been there. And when I landed, I realized I found something that I didn't know was missing. So yeah, it was great.
And what do you feel like that thing was once you got there?
That's a good question. I think that being there there was a peace. I feel like I'm first generation. I'm the oldest daughter. I'm the Ada. So there's always been this pressure in my head that I feel like I felt from everyone around me. And I think when I got there and I was able to see where my parents come from, where my dad specifically comes from, and just where he is, looking at this to where he is now, I was able to understand that there has been something watching over my like a higher power, God, watching over my family for years. Yeah. And that, this pressure I feel all the time, that the legacy, I don't want to drop the ball. I don't have to worry about that, because if God was able to bring my family from this to where we are now, then there's no way that I'm going to be the end of everything that all the blessings he's put in our family.
Yeah, same that.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a peace. There was a certain peace that I got. So yeah.
Yeah. I say the same. When I go to Ghana, I feel at home. I feel like I'm home. I feel at peace and feel.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's really hard to describe. I feel like when you've been away from home for so long, or you've never been, and when you finally get there, I don't know, even the lands, the soil, there's a certain spirit that is that just dwells there, so it's powerful. It's intense. I feel like if you go, or if you have gone, you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I would say the same thing. So how would you say, even though you grew up in America, how would you say the two worlds shaped you?
Honestly, for a long time, it was the biggest driving factor in my identity. I feel like being first generation and, trying to get there's that part of you where you still want to have your culture and you still want to embrace it, but you also want to embrace the community that you are now in.
Yeah.
And so there was a time where like it's conflicting. Like you go home and you're eating fufu and you're eating abacha and you're learning this and you're learning that. And then I would go to school and it's like, I don't want to be the Nigerian nightmare. So it's like, I need to kind of dial back. And so it was difficult, but I feel like it also gave me a huge understanding, especially when it comes to Black issues in America. It gave me a very different perspective because I don't have family that has been affected by like American transgressions, like slavery specifically.
Right.
It allowed me to like step out of it and look at really how deep the effects of it have been. And how even me as a Black woman, even though, I am first generation, I still reap I still have to deal with the consequences of it. So, yeah. So it's been a blessing and a curse, I would say.
Yeah. Do you feel like, well, you mentioned that, you felt like you kind of had to suppress the Nigerian nightmare, but do you feel like that was
Girl, kids are mean. Why would you call okay, anyway.
They would call you that?
Yeah. Oh, you think I just made that up? Yeah, they would call me Nigerian nightmare. Wow. Kids are mean.
So because of that, you dealt with a lot of bullying as well, where you felt like you had to kind of suppress who you were and that identity of being Nigerian. Do you feel like you had to act more, I guess, quote unquote, Black or African American to kind of fit in?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, obviously it's not like I was born here, so I don't have an accent. And people say for the most part that I talk very proper. So that wasn't an issue, but it's like, I look very Nigerian. Like when people see me, they can tell that I have very like close roots to Africa or whatever, or that's what people tell me.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely a thing of, I felt like I did have to have this like armor on where I kind of I felt like, okay, let me act tough. Like, I fell into this like stereotype of like being loud and aggressive because I felt that was like a way to keep people from picking on me in those certain areas. Like even my name, Lotanna, they couldn't say it. So they would call me Lotanna. So, and people are like, Lotanna, like that's a ghetto name. So I'm like, okay, well, let me run with it. I'll beat you up. So so that was really how I combated that. But yeah, I definitely feel like just because of the way I look and like me being, on the darker side of the spectrum, when it comes to like skin color, that was like also a huge driving factor in like me getting made fun of.
And why do you think that kids do those things? Like, why do they terrorize other kids for being different, or doing the same things they do?
I think it's definitely something that they learn from adults. I think kids are very impressionable, and like even if the adults don't say specific things, they pick up on their actions. And so like growing up and just the way society is, like kids start to understand at a very young age what is like, what is more attractive, quote unquote, than other things, what is more in trend than other things. They pick up on that very quickly. And I think they fall into it, like the deepest, darkest side of it. And so, parents will be like, I don't know where they learned that from, but it's like, from you, babe. They learned that from you. Yeah. And if they didn't learn it from you, they learned it from the people around you. Like you don't have like your thoughts subconsciously play out in your actions. So I definitely think they learn that from adults. Because I don't know how a kid who is like, for example, like I've had an Egyptian kid who was born in Egypt. So you more African than me. look at me, look at me and start like making monkey sounds at me. And I'm like, there's no like,
No.
yeah. And I'm like, you've been on the continent. I have yet to step on it. So it's just weird that you are already like, this type of behavior is something that like, that's something that you think is okay. It's probably because what your parent, like what you've seen your
Yeah.
parents do. And maybe they didn't do that exact thing and make monkey noises at an
Mm-hmm.
African who is darker or from the West or from the East, but they did so. They must have done something for you to think that like you and I are different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Or even like definitely the parents, and then also when they go to school, like themselves being bullied, so they think that
Yeah.
they want to do it to other people, so then they feel like, okay, well, now you're more different than I am, so I'm going to
Girl,
I'm
it's
gonna
survival of the
roll with
fittest. Yeah, it's like a food chain. Like
yeah.
they make fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of you. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone just like, and I'm not saying like I was bullied, and I'm pretty sure you'll meet someone today, and they were like, "That's the girl who bullied me, who bullied me in high school." Like I probably fell into that as well, in
Yeah.
the sense of like I'm feeling low. I'm feeling like I'm worthless. Let me find someone else to take that on.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they would know that I'm a different person now, and I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone falls into it, and it's not an excuse, but like I think especially nowadays there's like a big condemnation. Like people are really condemning like what people did when they were like younger. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like our frontal cortex wasn't even developed.
No.
Like there was a lot of learning and growing that we still had to do.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying to negate the trauma that you faced,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes also understanding that person's perspective as well in certain situations. So
Definitely. And this culture of today, this world is very unforgiving with cancel culture and all that stuff. And then people
right.
finding past tweets. And yeah,
I hate that. I
I know.
hate it so much. I hate
I know.
how can you take a tweet from when I was 13? Like, is everything okay? Are
Yeah,
you bored?
I know. But it
So
depends. I mean, what about the white people that are saying the N-word at 13? Do you feel like they get a pass?
wait, so should I wait. Okay, so I'm 25. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone's 25 and they said the N-word when they were 13, I
Mm-hmm.
should beat them now because they said the N-word when they were 13.
I
And
don't
I'm
think
not saying
that.
I'm not like, obviously that is it's important to know,
Mm-hmm.
especially if their actions still refer back to that behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people who did say the N-word, and like I don't want people to think I'm like being an apologist, because I'm not, because it's like
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel it. Like if you have that in you, I need to see that is not you anymore.
Yeah.
However, if their actions don't refer, I don't know, like it's a hard place to be.
There's a lot of different. Oh, your camera stopped. Oh yeah, it's just a lot of different factors. I feel like people have to consider. I also don't want to be like an apologist, but
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many things are not black and white. You can't just be like,
Thank you.
I'm canceling this person because of that. Like
Thank you.
there's a lot that may entail with that person, and you got to consider like their past, where they are now, what they're doing to do better. I just feel like there's a lot more behind it than just like you're done
There's a
and
lot, and
you'll
I
be
feel
done.
like as much as it is important for like your actions to, like, it is important that your actions show that you have changed. But like this call to action where people like, for example, there was Tariq Ali. I don't know if you know him, but he's a
Mhm.
YouTuber, and he had said something about like women and like some colorist type of stuff.
Mm.
And yeah, and people dragged him for when he was younger. He said when he was younger, they brought up the tweets. And then because of those tweets, he had to explain to people what his mindset was at the time. And he like revealed that he was like molested. And I was like, that is really unfortunate that you had to do that in order for people to leave you like alone. You know what I mean? Like if it's a Jeffree Star, and I'm sorry to be saying names because like, especially Jeffree Star, because I do not care about the Jeffree Star, but if it's someone like Jeffree Star, then yeah, girl, it makes sense. Like it makes sense that he said it then. It makes sense that he said it now. It makes sense that he'll say it that, you know, in the future. Like I can understand it. But if someone is showing improving, then I don't see what the problem is, especially because if you knew me when I was 13, she was a different girl. Yeah. She was broken. She was hurt, you know? And I think a lot of people can say that. If you knew the things that I thought at that age, you wouldn't be my friend either. You wouldn't support me either. So it's just important to have the grace that you want others to have for you, because one day it'll be you, and you will hope that like, yes, that this is what I did and I've already apologized to the parties or whatever, but I hope that you guys can see that like I have grown. Like allow people to grow. No, really, like allow people to grow. Unless what's the incentive of growing? If I'm what's the point to be like, why would I be better if you're still going to vilify me for the things that I did in the past? I don't get it. So
I agree. I want to ask you another kind of controversial topic.
Oh yeah, girl, you trying to get me in trouble? Okay.
No, but that's why I love talking to you, because I feel like we give each other the real on.
Yeah, definitely.
Should be, or how things go. So, do you feel like African Americans can appropriate African culture?
I'm sorry, it's not funny. No, it's not funny. Because I've had this conversation before, and I know, like, you know, I've heard both sides. I do not think that they can appropriate African culture, only because a lot, like that's their roots. They are just they're a bit more separated from it, but that's still their culture. A lot of like, there's this thing where like Nigerians who are on the continent, they don't really feel like Nigerians who are born and raised off the continent are Nigerian. Like, you know, I could go there and people already know that I wasn't born there, and I don't even have to say anything. Exactly. And they could be like, you know, they'll say things, like they'll say certain things, they'll make fun of the way I talk. And they could easily say that, but I don't agree. Just because you were born here doesn't mean that this culture, and I wasn't, doesn't mean that this culture isn't like mine. I do think that it is important with any culture that you are trying to immerse yourself in, whether you're African, white, Jew, it doesn't matter, that you do your due diligence and like learn what you're like, you know, what you're trying to immerse yourself in. It doesn't really make sense if you don't. So obviously like learn, like, you know, that, okay, this is called Ankara and not Ankara or whatever y'all, you know what I mean? Like learn that this is called jollof rice, not jollof, you know? So like learn these things if you really want to immerse yourself in it, but I would not say that it's appropriation. I think that's a slap in honestly African Americans' faces when people do say that, personally, because it's like, was it by choice? Exactly. It was by force. So, you know. It was by force. Y'all acting like they chose to like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, no, they didn't. It wasn't by choice. So
I agree as well.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I think that there's always like, sometimes it can be a thin line between appreciation and appropriation, but I feel like with African Americans, it's not like I'm giving them a pass, but it's like the pass is there for them to take because of the fact that it wasn't their choice to be taken away from Africa. So now for those that are wanting to really learn about, you know, their background, I embrace that. I just want that person to really know what it is about that culture that makes it special, and really embrace it, and not just like, okay, wear the daishiki and then that's it,
Right.
or just, I don't know.
Well, so do you think that Africans can appropriate Black culture?
Ooh.
Because I want to know. Because I mean, someone can easily be like, well, y'all Africans be trying to come up here.
Yeah.
And, y'all want to eat the mac and cheese. You want to do that. But like, y'all don't really like, they could easily say the same thing. So do you think that Africans can appropriate Black culture?
Well, for Thanksgiving, I don't be eating mac and cheese. We still have jollof. We still have fufu. So, I'm just kidding. But
so it's still dead. Like, what if they're like, you should, like, Africans shouldn't be going to HBCUs?
Yeah, things like that. I don't see where they're coming from with that.
I don't really see it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I feel like the same way I wouldn't see it where they were coming from, I don't see it when Africans get upset that African Americans are trying, like, want to immerse themselves. Both ways, I don't think there's any, like, we're all Black.
Yep.
And I think that we are all more connected in culture than we really understand.
Yeah.
So I don't think either or can appropriate personally. I can see why people would be, I don't know. I feel like it's just like, I can see why someone would be upset, but I could see it, but I don't really feel it. Like, I don't really feel it. Yeah, I don't feel it. I don't. I just don't, because I feel like if you continue to have those feelings in your heart, there's always going to be a divide.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, they treat us like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We need to just all be accepting of each other.
Exactly. Because let me tell you, when they see, when the others see us, we all look the same to them.
Yeah.
We all look the same. No one's going to look at me and be like, she's Nigerian.
Yeah.
Don't shoot. They're not going to do that.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
You're Black.
So, yeah. Same rules apply.
Yeah. So, as you know, there's a lot going on in Nigeria right now, even though it's not really trending anymore. It was trending, I don't know, like beginning of October or so, the End Sars movement. And so do you kind of want to give people a little rundown on what was going on in Nigeria?
So first of all, let me say I'm in no means the poster child for the End Sars movement. I'm just giving, information, but, I would suggest that everyone watching this go, do your research, do your due diligence, because there are a lot of people who are on the continent doing the work, and the information is out there. In Nigeria, there is a basically special unit in the Nigerian police force called the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, so SARS, and they are there. At this point, I don't know why they're there. However, in the past, they have been known to stop people, detain people, kill people, ask for ransom and bribes, for very simple reasons. You could have this watch on, you could have hair like this, you could have blue hair, you could have a cell phone, and they will use that as a means to stop you or detain you. There have also been cases where people have loved ones who have been killed by SARS, and they have not gotten any information on why they were killed. They have not even received the body of that family member. So there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of corruption within the Nigerian police in general. Right. But SARS has been specifically antagonizing and attacking the Nigerian youths for years. And so people are at a point where it has to stop. Yeah, they're fed up. Enough is enough. You cannot continue to keep antagonizing us for no reason, and it's profiling. It's the same thing that they do here in America, which goes to show you just like police in general. There has to be a change, and so that's what they're asking for. There was also an incident at the Lekki toll bridge where there was a peaceful protest, and the youth was out there. Many people were out there in support of Sars, and just protesting against what has been going on. And the Nigerian army dispatched by, well, he says that he didn't dispatch them, but by President Buhari, and they basically opened fire on the protesters, and many people were killed. And so, yeah, that was on October 20th of this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so many different things have happened before that. And after that, it's still going on. It's still going on. Even though it's not the trending hashtag anymore, there are still people fighting. There are still people protesting. So I know we're out here, but what are different things? And I know people can use Google too, but for the Googly challenged people, do you know of different things that they can do to help out here?
Yeah, there are definitely people. I know if you don't want to use Google, social media is a great platform. I think with the Black Lives Matter, that has helped a lot, people using social media as a tool to assist them. There are a lot of people on social media who have accounts that are specifically dedicated to the Sars movement. And hopefully you can add that, like maybe in the description below or something. But they give you information daily. And also maybe following people that you wouldn't think to follow. I feel like you don't really know what's going on in other places of the world until you follow people and decide to like build a bridge, in that way by connecting. And so I would definitely suggest, like I said, and also there's also like places where you can donate. There's also places where you can donate. And like I said, on these people's social media, there's links to that because the dollar, especially the dollar, goes very far in Nigeria, very far. So yeah, those would be things that I would say to do. And also, once you find out this information, using your platform to show solidarity, and to like maybe, someone who's on your profile who has no idea what's going on, they'll be able to get that information, and so on and so on. So yeah, just using your voice, I would suggest, would really help with the SARS movement.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for speaking on that. I wanted to kind of get into what you're doing right now. Did growing up influence you going into film and wanting to study that?
I mean, I would say that it. Yeah, no, yeah. Before I go and make up a story.
Yeah.
No. No, I would say that it did in very covert ways.
Right.
My mom is she's just naturally very dramatic. She wanted to be an actress, and it just how Nigerians are. She didn't really pursue it, but always like knowing that, as well as like movies was a huge thing in my house. Like it was a huge thing. Like both my parents like love watching Nollywood films. And so I would watch it with them when I was younger, and also like reading books. I feel like a lot of times parents would be like, go, face your books. But luckily I was allowed to like read any book that I wanted, essentially. And so I could read Harry Potter. I can read like a rom-com book. And I was really able to like envision and like visualize these worlds based on the words on the page. And so, yeah, I guess in ways it did. Like as early as first grade, I was like getting awards for like writing stories, but it's only because I was like kind of, I was able to be in situations where I could visualize these things. And, you know, my parents didn't know that was what was going on in my head, but that's what was happening. So when I was writing the story, it'd be easy because I've already, you know, imagined a world based on a movie I watched or a book. So yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what are the different things that you have been working on? What's already out? What do you have coming?
Yeah, so I think for so many like writers and filmmakers, you say that you're a writer or filmmaker, but you don't really do anything yet, you know, and you have to get enough courage to move in it. So last year, actually this year, January 20th, I believe, I dropped my first short film, and it was called it's called Hidden in Plain White. I have definitely grown since that.
Amazing, you guys. Amazing. Go watch.
Oh, thank you, girl. I'm embarrassed about it, but you know, it's the first one. It's the beginning, you know. So, I dropped that. That was the beginning. I read somewhere. Well, this guy actually told me that most writers, their first script is like a dark comedy because they think they're so smart. And I was like, mine was a dark comedy. So I felt. So I fell into that stereotype.
Oh no!
Yeah, I fell into it because I thought I was so smart. I'm like, it's gonna go. Yeah. But you know, it was a wonderful learning experience, and it made me want to start directing more, which is kind of in the direction that I've been leaning towards lately. I've been doing photo shoot series. So I just dropped one on my Instagram called "If Heaven Were the Runway." And that's kind of like showing a God's eye view of women from the Bible, and kind of showing you in all their glory and all their worthiness. And so that I dropped that. I have another one coming out later this December. And I'm also in pre-production for my next short film. So yay, I know. Excited. I'm excited because like all the things that I didn't do for the first one, or all the things I feel like I could do better, I get to really like, you know, show and prove to myself that like I'm actually learning. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And every time you do one, you're gonna have that knowledge, and it's gonna keep on getting better and better and better. And so
yeah. I'm hard on myself, but it's like I'm the only person who's allowed to be hard on me because because I feel like it's, you know, you don't get better unless you like try and do it and see the areas that you need to get better in. So it's like, okay, I did it. This needs to be worked on. This needs to be worked on, and I'm gonna just do that the next time.
Well, I love it. We will tag everything down below so you guys can check out what Lotanna is doing. But before you go, I kind of want to play a small little game. And it's going to be this or that.
Okay.
So you just choose which one you would rather do. Or
yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not really good at following rules, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll try.
No, it'll be simple. Nigerian jollof or Ghanaian jollof?
I thought this was going to be hard.
Not
I thought this was going to be difficult. No, I'm just kidding. Nigerian jollof, but that's like obviously I'm obviously like prejudiced when it comes to that. So, but let me tell you, Ghana jollof is good. I don't care what anyone says. I don't do that thing where everyone's like, Nigerian jollof is the best jollof. I just like it because that's what I grew up on. But Ghana jollof is it hits. It hits. Let's not pretend.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. That was
I'm dead. You really? She took it. She's like, "Oh my God, thank you."
No, because
on behalf of Ghana, thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it because I do like Nigerian jollof too, and I like Ghanaian jollof, but my preference will always be Ghanaian jollof because that's what I grew up on, you know?
Yeah, and that's fine. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
Moi moi or plantains?
I'm gonna choose my. I'm gonna choose that. Yeah, honestly, I love plantains, love it. But if anyone knows me, like I really love my. Like you could put egg in it, you could put fish in it. Like that's a meal. That's a meal. Like you can't really eat plantains by itself. Like by itself.
Yeah, you could.
And not for me at least.
I love it. I mean, okay, well, if I add peanuts to it, is that still adding enough?
No, by itself. If you just had a plantain and you were like, this is all I could use, this and maybe oil if I wanted to.
And salt.
Okay. Okay, yeah, and salt. I could use this in seasoning and no other ingredients. Would you be more satisfied?
I mean,
No, like you can't.
yeah, it's more like a snack if you're going to.
Thank you. And I love snacking, but that's not, yeah. My stomach needs to be coated with food.
No more food. Let's see. P Square or WizKid?
These are hard. I love WizKid. I'm gonna say P Square. Okay. I'm gonna say P Square. They were ahead of their time. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. So.
Yep. I love P Square. I will play. I mean, I love WizKid too, but yeah. I don't know.
If you play P Square, like you have to dance. Like you're gonna tell me you're gonna sit down? No. Like if they play Busybody, like you're gonna get up. You're going to get up, and you're in dance, and that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Last one of this or that. Manifestation or prayer?
We're gonna definitely say prayer. We're gonna definitely say nothing against manifestation, nothing against it, but I just feel like prayer is the ultimate manifestation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before there was manifestation, there was prayer. Amen. You guys have come to change name. No, I'm just kidding, but no, I'm just kidding. But I just feel like definitely gotta speak it into existence, gotta manifest it, but also gotta make sure that it's like aligned with who created you.
Exactly. So, prayer is manifestation. It's just you still have to make sure. Like I was reading something today. It said, you know, you will get all that you want as long as it aligns with the word of God. So that's it.
Do you see? Do you see? It's not just to be manifesting something that you want when it's not supposed to be what you have.
Exactly.
So yeah, prayer.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to speed through this part. You're going to choose the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to try to say one word. So, okay.
All right. Nigeria.
Pride.
2021.
Success.
Okay. Christmas.
Cookies. I have a sweet tooth, so cookies. Yeah, I have a very bad sweet tooth. Like I just ate pie before I came on here, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
yeah. Girl, Thanksgiving pies, like they're still here. Okay. So
leftovers, yeah.
Yeah.
And last one, Lotanna.
Oh my, only one word? Okay.
You could say a statement for this one.
Okay, so I'm gonna say what my name means, which is remember God. So Lotanna, remember God. That's what I'm gonna say for that one.
I love it. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was a great discussion. We're gonna have all her socials down there. And is there anything you wanted to add?
I just wanted to say thank you for having me on your platform. I've seen you grow every year that I've known you. And like, it's really an honor to be your friend and to be along the journey of like Esi's life. I know you're gonna do amazing things, and I just can't wait to see like those unfold because I already know. So yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You stuck with me forever. All right, you guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that jazz. Love you guys.